You ever see someone call 911 on a golden retriever for swimming in his own lake? Yeah, that happened. And not just any lake, but a lake I legally own, one I worked 5 years straight to afford. But somehow, that didn't stop my neighbor, Ms. I control this HOA herself, from storming across her lawn like she was about to save the world from a biological threat. And what was the threat? My dog, Tucker. A 12-year-old rescue retriever with bad hips and the energy level of a sleepy couch potato. So when she pointed at Tucker mid-paddle screaming, "Get that beast out of my water," I thought it was some kind of joke. It wasn't. Let me back up a sec. My name's Drew Callahan. I'm a back-end developer. Yep, one of those guys who fixes stuff you'll never see but curse when it crashes. After years of debugging code and skipping vacations, I bought this quiet property out in Ironwood Springs, Colorado. The real gem? A 50-foot lake in the backyard. Not huge, but perfect for Tucker's swim therapy. That lake? It's more than just water. It's where I finally started breathing again. And then came Karen. Well, not Karen exactly. Her name's Delilah Barrett, widow, former bank manager, HOA board tyrant. She lives next door, house slightly smaller, value slightly lower, because, as I later found out, it didn't come with lake access. That tiny difference? It's where all hell broke loose. The day she called the cops, I was on my deck, sipping lukewarm coffee, trying to fix a nasty recursive function for a healthcare app. Birds were chirping. Tucker was dog paddling, tongue out, happier than I'd been in months. Then came the voice. "You're contaminating my shoreline." I looked up, and there she was, red-faced, arms flailing, charging across her lawn like General Patton in a sundress. I calmly explained, like a reasonable adult, "Actually, ma'am, this lake is on my property. Got the deed, survey, and tax records to back it up." Her response? "I don't care what your fake paperwork says. That lake's been part of my family's land since 1985. Okay. Before I could process the crazy, she was already dialing 911. I watched, mouth half open, as she screamed into her phone, "There's an aggressive animal attacking my waterfront. The owner's being violent." Meanwhile, Tucker floated on his back like he was at a spa retreat. I started filming, because who'd believe this story without proof? The cops showed up 20 minutes later, 2 squad cars, Officer Hernandez and Officer Flynn. The moment they saw Tucker, they gave each other that look. The, "Oh God, another one of these" look. Delilah launched into her performance, complete with trembling hands and dramatic pauses. When she finished, I handed over my folder. Property survey, title deed, insurance documents, hell, even an old aerial photo from Google Earth. Officer Hernandez checked everything, cross-referenced with his phone, then looked me dead in the eye and said, "Sir, this lake is very clearly on your property." He turned to Delilah, voice flat, tone colder. "Ma'am, calling 911 for a false emergency is a criminal offense. This is not your lake." And that should have been the end. But it wasn't. The next morning I found wooden stakes around my lake, neatly hammered in, painted red, labeled with tags saying, "Private property, no trespassing." I checked my security cams. Thank God for those cameras. At 2:11 a.m., flashlight beam. Then her, Delilah, tiptoeing like a cartoon burglar with a hammer and measuring tape, planting fake markers like she was redrawing the damn borders of Poland. It was eerie how professional the markers looked. Not some DIY nonsense. These had custom signs, weatherproof stakes, even laminated notices. It was like she'd done this before. So I started digging. Turns out, she had. I found a trail. 3 other families, 3 other neighborhoods, all in the same county. A retired couple in Maple Hollow, a young military family in Pine Ridge, a single mom in Birchwood Flats. All forced to sell their homes after boundary disputes suddenly surfaced. Disputes sparked by documents Delilah conveniently discovered. Guess who bought those properties? Barrett Solutions, LLC. Let that sink in. Delilah wasn't just a meddling neighbor. She was a con artist with a strategy. Trigger a dispute, fake some legal threats, exhaust the victim, make them look like the problem neighbor, then swoop in and buy the house at a discount. Flip it. Profit. She didn't just want my lake. She wanted my home. Week 2, it got personal. Tucker nearly died. I came back from a grocery run. He was sluggish, dazed, wouldn't eat. Rushed him to the vet. Blood work showed mild sedatives in his system. I found meat scraps near the water line later that day, laced with something blue. Rat poison pellets, scattered like bait. That's when I stopped being polite. No more waiting. I needed a plan, and it had to be smarter than hers. So I played her game. I pretended to fold. I started avoiding eye contact, stopped mowing the lawn, let Tucker wear a medical cone longer than needed. When Delilah offered help, I let her talk. I acted defeated. I even told her I might have to sell if this legal mess drags on. Hook, line, sinker. She offered to connect me with a buyer, said they specialize in complicated properties and could offer a clean deal to take the stress off my plate. Then, she bragged. My late husband taught me, she said. Most people don't understand property law. I just help them through it. Then she laughed, and said, one woman still sends me Christmas cards for helping her out of foreclosure. I wanted to vomit, but I smiled, because I had her confession, on tape, with my phone on the patio table the whole time. Next step? Expose her publicly, before she could lawyer up and flip the story. So I organized a neighborhood mediation BBQ, used HOA bylaws to frame it as a boundary discussion. She came, all smug, brought copies of the fake survey. Then I dropped the hammer. Security footage, played on a big screen projector, her planting stakes in the dead of night. Then came the photos, fingerprints on forged documents, bank records, Barrett Solutions LLC wiring cash days after sales. Her voice, recorded, describing the scam, the families, the tactics. She started screaming, called it entrapment, claimed the video was doctored, said I was harassing her, but it was too late. Neighbors who had once nodded politely at her started talking. I remember her asking me about our fence line. She told me to recheck my lot lines last year. She said my shed might be over the limit. The tide turned. Someone called the real cops this time. Officers Hernandez and Flynn again. This time, they did not come for me. Delilah was arrested in front of the whole block, soaking wet from falling in the lake trying to destroy more evidence. Hair matted, mascara running, screaming about conspiracies as they cuffed her. News vans arrived within the hour. Delilah Barrett, former banker, self-proclaimed HOA queen, was charged with property fraud, harassment, attempted animal poisoning, and evidence tampering. The fallout? The HOA issued a public apology, stripped every complaint she ever filed. The Johnson family came back to visit. The community started a support fund for past victims. And Tucker? He got a lifetime supply of treats from a pet brand that saw his story online. People called him the goodest boy who exposed a fraud. 6 months later, I'm still here, by my lake. Tucker's stronger than ever. The fake stakes are gone. So is the poison, the drama, the chaos. But the lesson? Never underestimate how far someone will go when greed meets entitlement. And if you're ever in a situation like mine, document everything, trust your instincts, and don't go quiet. Sometimes the best revenge is letting the truth bark loud enough to wake the whole neighborhood. Now I want to hear from you. Was I too patient? Should I have sued her from the start? Or was the public takedown the real justice? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about what community really means and how far we should go to protect it.